Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday. Hey, baby. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. Our Movie Star Mondays continue into February. Today, we're going to visit with Curtis Armstrong.
I love him.
I do, too. He was, for those of you who don't know who Curtis Armstrong is, he was Booger in the movie Revenge of the Nerds. Couldn't be more unlike his character if you tried.
He's a wonderful,
such a cool
wonderful guy.
And here's the thing. I know what he's going to say in the interview because we talked to him back in November. He was at 80s in the Sand last year. I don't know if he's going to be there this year or not. I know Diane Franklin is. She was an interview that we had done that aired last month. But he was there. They were in a movie together. And like I said, I'm not sure if he's coming back or not. But we're going to be visiting with Curtis Armstrong for our interview later in the program. Angelina Jolie is our quote for today. Every day we choose who we are by how we define ourselves. Angelina Jolie.
There you go.
Did I mention it's a Movie Star Monday? I thought I might have. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
There are monthly subscriptions for razors and coffee and many other things, but this is the best monthly subscription ever. Ladies, listen up. Odiva has a monthly subscription for your monthly visitor. You know it's going to happen every month, and how many times have you been caught off guard? Odiva will send you a box discreetly each month with the products you want, with plans starting at less than $4 a month. Get a special offer right now at radiosavings.com, helping women prepare for their monthly visitor for less. Try it now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Well, it's the day after the Super Bowl, so it's National Call-In Sick for Work Day, I'm pretty sure. But that's not on the list. It is National Weather Person's Day today, so if you happen to know a weather person, today is the day to wish them a happy day. I know several weather people. So
do you?
I got to make some phone calls. Yes. Also, today is National Shower with a Friend Day. So what are you doing later, Heidi? See, the good news is I can actually say that to my coworker because she's also my wife, and that makes it a lot less creepy. Still probably kind of creepy, but a lot less creepy.
Shower with a friend day is just a weird day,
That is.
right?
I don't know. Somebody just decided, hey, let's make a day, and today's that
To just
day.
shower with a friend?
Yeah, well,
Weird.
it better be a good friend. All right, you're listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Monday.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now, a breakthrough safe and natural non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which make you happier just by drinking this special cup of coffee. Many report elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, thousands of marijuana convictions are being removed from the record in California. So people who had been arrested for marijuana charges and now it's no longer illegal, so they're going, okay, just strike that from the record.
Huh.
It's no longer going to be on there. So does that mean they're letting people out of jail who were in jail for those things?
They probably are. If they're taking it off of their record, you can't keep them in prison for something that's not on their record.
But I wonder if you could, though, because they broke the law when it was still illegal. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Huh. I don't know. I'm not what do you call it? Smart person, so I don't know what the answer is to that. Any lawyers out there? Well, I'm asking for a friend. It doesn't really matter to me. Honestly, whatever they decide, I suppose they probably put a lot of thought into it.
Yeah, because California is known for their good decisions as far as running their government.
I just hope whatever the answer is, it's the right answer. We've got your brain on drugs coming up.
John and Heidi.
Each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Chad O. England, a 33-year-old Tennessee man, is facing a DUI and drug charges after he let Jesus take the wheel.
Nice try, buddy.
He flipped his truck 5 times. told authorities Jesus advised him to let go of the wheel, which he did.
It's not my fault. Jesus was driving.
Yeah, don't
He
blame-
should get the DUI.
Don't blame it on Jesus. England's truck had flipped
Wow.
about 5 times after striking a rock wall. That's not good. Police say he took off running. He was carrying a jar and was speaking gibberish. Officers searched the wrecked truck and found about 6 grams of marijuana, a vial of cocaine, a couple of partial pipes, some rolling papers, and a nearly empty bottle of alcohol, and some huffing cans. So he was working
He was
on
all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, he was arrested on multiple drug charges and traffic charges, and he was trying to blame it on his buddy Jesus. Well, no, that's not the way it works. So this is your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen. From the little screen, Gordon Ramsay has recently lost 60 pounds, and he said that he was doing that to keep his wife from leaving him. So, would you leave me if
I didn't know he was heavy.
I didn't know he was either, but he's making delicious food.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Would you say you're going to leave me if I wouldn't lose a little bit of weight? I
No.
hope not. I've lost some weight lately, but it's not because Heidi was going to leave me. It's because she quit feeding me. No, she feeds me very well. Diane Keaton says that she stands by her friend Woody Allen and believes him when he says he didn't do what everybody's accusing him of. ABC News has hired former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie as a news contributor. So that's what he's up to.
Really?
Yeah, that's what he'll be doing these days. Judd Apatow, I'm sorry. He criticized Diane Keaton for believing Woody Allen. So that story should have been up with that other story. And then Barbra Streisand says she's struggling to finish her long-awaited memoir. So she's trying to finish the story, and she's just struggling to, I'm not sure why. It would be tough. It'd be tough. I started writing a book once, and then I stopped because I didn't know what else to say. So someday I'll finish it. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
You can have a debt-free education. I know that sounds crazy, but let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstone, and I learned to go through my undergraduate and graduate degree without student loans. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. So take my first course for free that walks you through my journey and what you can do starting today by going to learnwithoutloans.com. That's learnwithoutloans.com.
John and Heidi.
Now, your scoop of the day, brought to you by Wink Frozen Desserts. You can find them online at radiosavings.com. While you may personally have not consumed this many calories yesterday, that big football game that was on that people were watching, I don't know if you know this, holy guacamole, people tend to eat a lot during that game. And here's the thing, according to the Calorie Count Council, it's a Calorie Control Council, which still, it's a lot of C's in a row there. The snacks eaten by Americans watching the game yesterday contained about 4 million pounds of fat.
Ooh.
Not per person, thank goodness. Total.
No, I would hope.
Otherwise, we're all in trouble. What'd you have yesterday? Everything. I am stuffed. A Business Week survey found that McDonald's quarterly profits easily beat their analyst predictions. They were up 5%. So they're saying, all this newfound money that people are keeping for their taxes, they spent a lot of it at McDonald's. So they said, you know what? I will supersize it. Thank you, Trump.
And yes, I would love an apple pie.
You want fries with that? Of course I do. A lot of fries. A study by Kent State University found that humans could survive by eating nothing but insects. But why would you want to do that?
Right.
Well, it's good to know you could. I just don't know why you would.
No, thank you.
Washington State Police arrested a thief who stole $81 from Pizza Hut delivery driver at gunpoint.
Oh.
$81, that's all. And how long is this guy going to go to jail for 81 stinking dollars?
And the poor guy that got robbed.
That would be awful. Can you
Yeah, it
imagine getting
would.
robbed? I wonder if that was his tip money. I mean,
I hope not.
well, hopefully he got his money back. I just think that's really sad. The world's oldest man passed away last Tuesday. How did we not see this sooner?
I don't know.
You'd think that would be big news. How old do you think the world's oldest man was?
118.
No, 113. What are you, crazy? I guess that's almost the same. 113. He died in Spain.
Huh.
You know how he died?
No.
I don't either. Probably
Skydiving?
old age, I'm guessing. 113. Yeah. He was playing tag football. I don't. It doesn't say, but you know that really should. Hey, North Korea has withdrawn their offer to hold the pre-Olympic event with South Korean government. Remember like a week ago they were talking about, hey, we should work together and do this together, and now they're saying, never mind, backsies, we're not doing that. We take it back. We're not going to help. A 20-year-old from Washington State, this is kind of an interesting story. He used his own cell phone to place an order for pizza. Then he gave a false name, and then he robbed the delivery person after pressing a gun to her leg.
Oh, my gosh.
4 days earlier, the same man used the same phone to order pizza from the same company, but he used his real name that time.
That's how they caught him.
In addition, the alleged robber committed the crime in the parking lot of his own apartment complex. I wonder if this guy is the same guy we just talked about up here. Washington State Police. Where was that? Washington State. Has to be the same guy. Don't you think?
Well, yeah, I would think so, yes.
Two different stories from two different places, but it's got to be the same guy. A new study finds the dirtiest spot at the airport. Are you ready for this? Do you even want to hear this? Do you want to know where the dirtiest spot is?
Yeah, we should.
I don't know if I want to know this. It says here, if you're trying to catch a flight, you're probably not thinking about all the germs lurking at the airport's self-check-in kiosks. Unfortunately, it may in fact be time to consider those germs. A new study by Insurance Quotes recently completed 18 tests across 6 different surfaces inside 3 major U.S. airports. That's a lot of numbers thrown at us already right there. Anyway, overall, they found the self-check-in kiosks were the germiest of all places they tested. Guess where the second place was?
Where?
The airline gate bench armrests. So like you're waiting at the gate where you put your arms.
Okay.
Germy. Followed by the water fountain button where you push the button to get a drink.
Okay.
Good news is I don't use the water fountains because I'll buy a bottle of water then. I can take it with me on the plane. And I probably do use the armrests if I sit down, but I usually don't. Usually I'm not, because I'm afraid, here's my thing, I'm afraid if I sit down, I'll fall asleep. Wouldn't that be awful?
Those are all pretty dirty, but they're not as dirty as American Airlines
Would
leaving
you
the gate
just
15
know?
minutes prior to departure and leaving 5 passengers stranded at the airport.
Are you done with that, Heidi? That was so last year.
Never.
This has been your Scoop of the Day, courtesy of Wink Frozen Desserts, online at radiosavings.com.
There are monthly subscriptions for razors and coffee and many other things, but this is the best monthly subscription ever. Ladies, listen up. Odiva has a monthly subscription for your monthly visitor. You know it's going to happen every month, and how many times have you been caught off guard? Odiva will send you a box discreetly each month with the products you want, with plans starting at less than $4 a month. Get a special offer right now at radiosavings.com, helping women prepare for their monthly visitor for less. Try it now at radiosavings.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Our Movie Star Mondays continue right now as we talk with Curtis Armstrong. You may remember Curtis Armstrong from the movie Revenge of the Nerds. He had one of the most memorable characters, Dudley Dawson. Now you're thinking, wait a minute, Dudley Dawson, who's that? Well, you know him by his nickname, Booger. And I got to tell you, he's nothing at all like the character. We had a chance to meet up with Mr. Curtis Armstrong at 80s in the Sand in Punta Cana, and we're going to be heading back there again this November. If you want to get more details, you can find all of that at radiosavings.com. But now, with no further ado, let's take a listen to the interview with Curtis Armstrong. Curtis, how did you get your start in acting?
First actual full-length play was The Innocents. My first professional play was as Puck in Midsummer Night's Dream, and that was 1975 at Meadowbrook Theater in Michigan.
And from that, how did you make the transition to television and movie?
It was a long time after that because I started in 75. I had co-founded a theater company in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I was doing that at the same time I was doing the Midsummer Night's Dream. Then I moved to New York. And I was a stage actor in New York and tours and regional theaters and all that stuff for a long time until 1983. And then in 83, I was cast in Risky Business. And that was when it sort of shifted, and I started doing more film work than stage work, and then I didn't do any television until Moonlighting, which was 87. So that whole period, and then I continued to do plays whenever I could. I did summer stock for years, even during Moonlighting and after. I would take my summers and go do summer stock in Pennsylvania at Totem Pole Playhouse. So I would do plays when I could, but starting with Moonlighting, it shifted again, and I started doing more TV than films.
Something that's really cool, you've played some very memorable characters like Booger, but you certainly have not been typecast because you've got a lot of different types of characters you've had a chance to play.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We're part of a interesting sort of subset. We're the character actor. Character actors can be typecast, but we've been very fortunate in the fact that we have been able to do all sorts of different things. So I have talked to people who said, what was it like being typecast as Booger in Revenge of the Nerds? I never felt like I was typecast. It's the difference between being defined by a role and being typecast as a character. And certainly Revenge of the Nerds, Booger is the role that defines me as an actor to most people. And it's okay if they come up and say, "Hey, love your work," and then if they're like across the street screaming, "We've got Bush" at you, less attractive. But that's the thing, is that I always felt I only played Booger once. I didn't. I played him 4 times because we made 4 movies, but I never played that character in any other movie. Sometimes you were the cute guy, it was never the cute guy, but the nice guy. Oh, come on. No, I mean the funny sidekick. I'm almost always the funny sidekick. But different kinds of funny sidekick. But then I get to be, Ahmet Erdogan in Ray, or I get to be Metatron in Supernatural. So it's all different kinds of things over the years, which is the great advantage to being the sort of actor that we are, is you get different stuff.
Now, of all of the characters that you've had a chance to play, is there a character that you maybe most closely resemble in real life, the Curtis Armstrong is most like? So is Curtis Armstrong anything at all like Booger?
No, Booger is the one that I'm furthest from. I mean, offhand, I can't think of anything that is really close to me. I'm not, there maybe Viola in Moonlight. It's hard for me to remember now, because of course, I was doing Viola when I was in my early 30s or mid 30s, and that was maybe what I was like in my mid 30s. But I don't know. It's hard for me to nail down stuff like that. They're all jobs, I mean, we do them, and we bring to them whatever we bring to them at that age, with our experience. But what do you can't really say that anything is really close to you.
Sadly, this concludes part 1 of our interview with Curtis Armstrong. We will continue with more of the Curtis Armstrong interview next week on our next Movie Star Monday. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Many people think they cannot enjoy something delicious if you're watching your calories. But with Wink frozen desserts, you can. There's only 100 calories per pint. And listen to this, it's sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, nut-free, and egg-free. Good thing it's not taste-free, but it is fully vegan-friendly. Wink was designed by a family that struggles with celiac disease, so they had to change their diet. But many people are choosing to eat better, and Wink frozen desserts could be an amazing choice for you. Find Wink frozen desserts at radiosavings.com. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Elephants make friends, and they bury their dead, and they travel for funerals, and they speak to each other, and they show extreme signs of intelligence.
I love elephants.
I know you do. I love elephants, too. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
As of 1998, over 50% of Iceland's population believes in the existence of elves. So there you go. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Boston Marathon did not allow female runners until 1972.
Really?
Yeah, up until that point, they were like, no, you can't run. Go run in a different marathon. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When watermelons are grilled or baked, they lose their granular texture and can even be used as a meat substitute, called a watermelon steak.
Really?
We should try that.
I don't think I would like that.
I wonder what it would taste like. I just want to try it now. A couple of fun facts brought to you by LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
Sadly, more than 350 million people suffer from depression. Scientifically, your actual brain chemistry levels are affected. Now, a breakthrough safe and natural non-prescription coffee product has been shown to help. It elevates levels of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins in the brain, which make you happier just by drinking this special cup of coffee. Many report elevated mood, feeling more connected, having greater energy, clarity, and focus. Try it for yourself at firstcupisfree.com. Get a free sample at firstcupisfree.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day. The word today is bellicose. 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 Know what that is?
I honestly have no clue on
It
this
is
one.
an adjective. I'm like you have a clue on most of
Sometimes
them.
I do.
I have no idea on this one. I know most of them.
Sometimes I know.
I sure don't know this one and only grandiloquent word.
Such a jerk.
I'm just giving you guff because I can. I'm being a little bellicose. I don't know if that even makes sense. Let's find out. Bellicose is an adjective. Rather warlike or hostile in manner or temperament. I kind of was being bellicose. So if you're being hostile, it says demonstrating aggression and willingness to fight. Having or showing a tendency to argue or fight. I was being bellicose, wasn't I? Favoring or inclined to start quarrels or wars. Being belligerent or pugnacious. I like pugnacious. Pugnacious is a good word. That should have been the word of the day. Heidi is not being bellicose. This has been our grandiloquent word of the day.
John and Heidi.
You can have a debt-free education. I know that sounds crazy, but let me save you time, energy, and most importantly, your hard-earned money. My name is Matthew Einstone, and I learned to go through my undergraduate and graduate degree without student loans. Not only am I a living example, but I have 10 years of proven results, not guesswork. So take my first course for free that walks you through my journey and what you can do starting today by going to LearnWithoutLoans.com. That's LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
Now a little bit of weird news brought to you by firstcupisfree.com. Karen Berry, age 50, got some permanent lip tattoos, and they turned green. That's not good. So let's talk about what happened. She went to Tahiti, because when you're going to get a tattoo, where do you think to go? Tahitian tattoo. I don't know why, but apparently she said she went to get this permanent tattoo on her lips because she, quote, believed that Polynesians were the best tattooists in the world.
Okay.
The tattooist mixed up some blue and some green and some pink, promising that this ink would turn a beautiful burgundy color. Well, it didn't. It turned out pretty darn green instead. It says for laser procedures and I think that's supposed to be F-O-U-R. So probably for laser. It just says F-O-R. For laser procedures, and $1,600 later, a thin green line still exists on her face.
Oh,
so that did not go well. I've got a link to that story and a photo because, I mean, who doesn't want to see that? On our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com. Timothy Staten, age 56, of St. Johnsbury, Vermont, slashed the tires of a pizza delivery driver.
Oh, what is wrong with pizza?
I don't know.
These poor pizza delivery drivers today.
Think about how busy they were over the weekend, though. I mean, everybody ordering food
That's
for that
crazy.
the big game thing they were doing. But I don't know when this happened. Anyway, here's why he was upset over the price of a Hawaiian pizza.
Holy cow.
This is in Vermont. He's like, what, did you bring this all the way from Hawaii? And then he ran out and slashed their tires. He ordered a pizza with ham and pineapple. That's what a Hawaiian pizza is. Got upset because he said it cost too much. The delivery guy shows up. He runs out and slashes the tires. The delivery man called the police, and that's when they showed up, and they delivered Mr. Staten to jail. So there you go.
First of all, you know that if you're delivering a pizza to somebody that has pineapple on it, they're unstable.
No.
You should have somebody with you.
I like
I
pineapple.
know you. This is what I'm saying.
Come on, Heidi. There are several people listening right now that like pineapple. It's good on your tummy. It
Fruit
helps you
does not belong on
digest.
pizza unless
Oh, it
it's
does.
a fruit pizza.
No, that's a good way to go. Hey, for those of you who like fruity pizza, you keep eating your fruity pizza. What is Heidi now?
Just don't slash anybody's tires.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't. That's
fruits.
That's a bad idea. I've got a link to this story on our Facebook page. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Many people think they cannot enjoy something delicious if you're watching your calories. But with Wink frozen desserts, you can. There's only 100 calories per pint. And listen to this. It's sugar-free, dairy-free, soy-free, gluten-free, nut-free, and egg-free. Good thing it's not taste-free, but it is fully vegan-friendly. Wink was designed by a family that struggles with celiac disease, so they had to change their diet. But many people are choosing to eat better, and Wink frozen desserts could be an amazing choice for you. Find Wink frozen desserts at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we do have some good news to get to. Hey, before we get to the good news, you're probably wondering why we're not talking about that game that happened yesterday, because we didn't even watch it.
No, we did not.
I'm not going to say I don't know who the winner is, because, I do have Facebook. I mean, come on. But here's the thing. I can tell you, I am so sick of sports anyway. I'm set, especially the whole game that was yesterday. So congrats to the old winners there. And for those of you who, are sad because your team didn't win, think about this. They're undefeated for the next season already. See? It's like everybody starts out undefeated. Our daughter, it's kind of funny because we just got our daughter's grades for the second whatever the semester is that we're in. She comes home because her grades weren't the greatest last semester. She's like, hey, look at this. I got all A's. And Heidi's like, everybody starts out with A's. That's kind of what happened. Like your team, even if they didn't make it to the game yesterday, your team is undefeated right now.
Yep.
See? It's a way to look at it. So coming up, we've got that good news to get to. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with some good news, and we have good news courtesy of Odiva. It's the monthly subscription for Ladies Monthly Visitor. You can learn more at radiosavings.com. And here's the good news story for today. After Denver hired homeless people to shovel mulch and perform other day labor, more than 100 of these people landed a regular job. That's kind of a cool program.
I love this story.
This is a great story. Jeffrey Mays didn't expect to live on the streets in his 50s. He started several businesses, but he says the last one, which was a remodeling company, went south just as he stretched thin on 4 properties. So, he had no funds and everything
Right.
kind of went bad. He lost all of them and ended up with no home of his own, along with the realization that he was now considered unemployable. Last year, he heard about a Denver-sponsored day labor program that had helped a friend of his get back on his feet. After nearly 4 years of homelessness, Mays gave it a shot. Tuesday, he spoke about how the Denver Day Work Program has helped restore his pride and helped him find a full-time job retrofitting lights at the city central library.
Isn't that great?
That is really cool. And I'm scrolling through here and I'm looking. There are people that are just so happy to have a job.
Yeah.
And it started out with little tiny tasks. It says here those participated. Mays was among 110 who found full-time work, with 15 of them landing permanent full-time work.
I love that.
These are project-based city jobs, and the rest finding work with dozens of outside private public companies. It says when you take a good person who's down, broken, and discouraged,
That truly wants to succeed.
and you give them an opportunity to be proud of themselves, to stand up and do something for themselves, that is one of the greatest gifts anyone can give to anybody.
I agree with that completely.
And he says, for that, I say thank you. It's a really cool story. I've got a link to the whole thing if you want. I can't talk. It's a Monday. I have a link to the whole story if you'd like to read it on our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening on a Monday.